Imagine that you're playing a game of Monopoly. You're doing pretty well, you're winning, you're saving up your cash. And suddenly, the central banker, those in charge of the purse strings, in this case, Congress, decides that it's okay, that we're going to print up $1.7 trillion and flood the Monopoly board with cash. The deluge of cash literally drowns the little pile that you have as Congress spends money that they have not. And we ask ourselves, why put your money in cash? Why not put it in something that has scarcity? And therefore, this is what drives people when the market is flooded with cash to put their money in housing, to put their money in stocks, because these are scarcer. But synthetically, we have created a commodity that has total scarcity. In other words, I can always create more real estate to some degree. I can build more high-rises. Where we are, there's an amusement park going up, and there's all sorts of construction going on, which of course inflates the amount of housing that is available and keeps a lid as to the value of the properties that are already built on. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's the natural tendency of the market to respond to some new development. Now we have something, a commodity that has been issued that is 100% scarce. We know the total supply will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. Furthermore, with physical property, if you were to invest in it, the government, say you live in California, Gavin Newsom might be able to tax you, raise property taxes to 25% a year, and say that's not really your property, that's the community's property. And we want to find a way to take it away from you, the same way that Los Angeles currently is not allowing evictions before next year. This has been going on for 2.5 years. That they have limited evictions due to COVID. Really, this is just stealing your property. With Bitcoin, you can take it with you wherever you go. You can literally, if you're fortunate enough, take 1 billion Bitcoin to any jurisdiction that will treat you better than that who is trying to tax you on it. It's going to be very hard to tax Bitcoin as opposed to gold, let's say, which you have to physically store and protect, aka Fort Knox, where you have all the guards. And with Bitcoin, you merely have it in a cold storage wallet and you keep those keys in your head, or maybe you have a multi-sig, which makes it incredibly hard for anybody to confiscate it. So why would we continue as they deluge the economy with money, truckloads of money? They have no meaning because they are printed out of thin air. Why would we not then gravitate to a commodity with absolute scarcity? Again, that's Bitcoin. They only make the case stronger every single day for this commodity. Eventually, the rest of the world will realize it. Right now, the US is able to export their inflation to the rest of the world because it's better than storing dollars, or still better than having the Lebanese pound or the Venezuelan bolivar or the Zimbabwe dollar. These have hyperinflated to meaningless, where everybody in Venezuela, in Zimbabwe, is literally a billionaire. You can find $100 trillion Zimbabwe bills littering the streets. The Venezuelan bolivar is worth less than the toilet paper. This is why nobody respects the currency. So you can be a billionaire. You want to be a billionaire? Just go to these countries and set up shop. Unfortunately, the US right now is sucking up the rest of the global demand for currency, whereas Bitcoin will only have, again, that fixed limited supply. I guarantee you that every day people are waking up and realizing maybe, just maybe, I should put a few percent of my portfolio into something that cannot be debased, into a scarce commodity that I can take with me wherever I go. That's going to be harder to tax me on than my house. And maybe, just maybe, put a few percentage of your portfolio there, or at least wake up and realize that this is possible, because this OmniBus bill that is passed at $1.7 trillion is once again the central bank of monopoly shelling out all of this cash, flooding the board, and what you have saved becomes worthless, as it does in Venezuela, as it does in Zimbabwe. The only difference is that the US dollar is still sought after, so the inflationary effects that we would expect to see in the United States is spread throughout the world, so they are using their ability to print money and imposing their game theoretical calculations in doing so. I don't know. Personally, I just invite you to learn more about Bitcoin. There's a link in the description to a video that I made more about it. You can also check out Michael Saylor's work, Robert Breedlove's work. But again, all signs point to the public, to you, my friends, looking into this just a little bit. Just go down the rabbit hole a little.